Next up, for our final keynote, we have Abby Kearns. Abby is the CTO of Puppet and was the former executive director at Cloud Foundry Foundation. Please welcome Abby Kearns.
Hi, I'm Abby Kearns, and I'm the CTO at Puppet. And today I'm going to talk about scaling continuous delivery platforms in the enterprise through self-service. At Puppet, we've been researching DevOps and high-performing organizations for a decade. And our biggest learning is that it's possible to deliver software faster without compromising reliability and the agility of our environments. Combining these two seemingly opposing forces, agility and reliability, are only possible through the adoption of DevOps practices. One of the core practices being continuous delivery, which I like to think of as a practical manifestation of DevOps. One of the things that we found in our research is that high-performing IT organizations are more agile. They deploy code 46 times more frequently, and they deploy 440 times faster than their peers. High-performing IT organizations are also more reliable. They have 5 times fewer failures, and they're able to restore service 24 times faster. We've also seen how DevOps practices like continuous delivery have impacted organizational culture. The culture goes from low trust and bureaucratic to high trust and generative. Previously siloed teams become more cross-functional and better aligned around common business goals. Processes go from mainly manual to mostly automated as a result. Cycle times are shorter, there's higher productivity, greater visibility, and insights into what's happening throughout the software delivery lifecycle. As the culture and processes change, people delivering software experience, higher job satisfaction, career progression, and can exercise their creativity as they're challenged with higher and higher level initiatives. But there's a lot of complex factors at play in an enterprise environment. You're trying to manage scale, heterogeneity, and ultimately the pressure to move faster. In fact, by 2023, as many as 90% of enterprises will fail to scale their DevOps initiatives if they do not create a shared self-service platform. That's why, although enterprises are already operating at a massive scale, many of the biggest names on the list remain unprepared for the future. They lack truly intelligent automation and lack sufficiently robust culture around DevOps and DevOps practices. Further complicating the challenge of scale is the fact that infrastructure, which has already been complicated, only grows more so with each passing year. The trend continues with Gartner estimating that a full 75% of enterprises will adopt either a hybrid or a multi-cloud strategy by 2021. Finally, we can't forget that all of this takes place under enormous pressure, making it all too easy to conclude that scaling for the future is a luxury beyond reach today. So even as executives and C-levels are excited about strategic investments and future-proofing their solutions, practitioners remain incentivized to automate quickly and show immediate results. Gartner reports that IT organizations spend 66% of their resources on day-to-day operations, the keeping the lights on activities. From our recent State of the Work survey, we found that skilled workers spend 40% of their time on administrative tasks. Those just running the business rather than growing it, changing it, or innovating. Clearly, businesses need a way to pursue a strategy that demonstrates short-term gains while also maintaining an aggressive pursuit of long-term goals. Now let's look at DevOps and continuous delivery in the context of what should matter most to your business. The value of any business lies in what it can enable for its customers. Many teams play an important role in delivering value to customers. Application delivery, infrastructure, security, compliance, cloud, platform teams, and so many more. Even though these teams are all trying to move in the same direction towards innovation, improved compliance, and for many, the cloud, they typically operate in their own silos with their own sets of objectives and concerns. Furthermore, today's enterprises rely on an enormous set of isolated tools to keep things secure and running. Each team has its own set of tools and processes, but those tools rarely talk to one another, making automation and visibility challenging across teams. Bottlenecks exist everywhere between teams, causing friction and increased cycle times. In such a complicated environment, every goal is harder to reach. Security, for example, is top of mind for everyone these days, myself included. But securing your infrastructure and applications is a complex endeavor that requires a shift-left approach, one that is much more holistic and spans the entire software delivery lifecycle. However, more and more organizations are embracing DevOps as well as DevSecOps to overcome these challenges. They're automating more and more of their key workflows and delivery pipelines, and doing a better job of integrating security into the entire development cycle. They are also evaluating their tool chains. Businesses need the right tools, and those tools need to be organized into something that's greater than the sum of its parts. When every tool you need is deeply integrated into around the right people, the right process, it becomes something far greater, a platform. The right platform is a foundation for everything that drives value in your organization. It brings together people, process, and technology. But this journey doesn't begin just with technology, which I know sounds strange as someone from a technology company, but I firmly believe it begins with people. Maybe you have a platform team today that is uniquely responsible for building and maintaining the infrastructure environments and your continuous delivery tool chains. They're focused on standardizing deployment practices, automating workflows, and providing self-service interfaces. Or maybe you have multiple teams that are filling these gaps today. But at the end of the day, the goal is to enable those internal customers, providing self-service capabilities so they don't have to wait to get the resources they need to get their job done. Continuous delivery is all about integrating the people, the process, and the technology. It provides the automated guardrails to enable faster and more efficient delivery. But continuous delivery can't be done in a vacuum. It requires collaboration across multiple teams and stakeholders. But the great news is everyone can participate in the process and make it better. Is your team going to be a bottleneck to progress, or are you going to be a catalyst for change? For example, if you're part of the security team, are you working with your platform team to ensure that security concerns are built into the development cycle? If you're part of the infrastructure team, are you automating so you can deliver the infrastructure at the pace required by the business? Or are you the compliance team? And if so, are you finding ways to collaborate, or are you putting up blockers? While the platform team is and can be a catalyst, it does ultimately rely on all of the teams in the delivery cycle to make it work. Because continuous delivery is a team sport, and everyone needs to get their heads in the game if they want to scale DevOps practices across the organization. To do continuous delivery well, you need 3 key things. First, you need to take an infrastructure as code approach so that all the environments can be available on demand. Second, you need to have an automated delivery pipelines with security and compliance built in. And third, you need to enable developers, providing those self-service interfaces. As we look at what's next for continuous delivery, we envision a future where people, processes, and tools are tightly integrated, where they are specialized platform teams focused on improving the developer experience. And underpinning all of that is a robust self-service platform. But it'll take all of us to get there. If the enterprises truly want to scale DevOps and continuous delivery practice, then they need to invest in the platform as well as the people who make it work. And everyone who's involved in the software delivery lifecycle needs to be invested in it. Today, for many of the world's biggest organizations, Puppet continues to be the driving force in their journey to dramatically contain cost, achieve compliance, address ever-changing regulation changes, as well as transform their commitment to security. We continue to help our customers modernize their techniques, like infrastructure as code, already a mainstay in the cloud world, to the data centers they've been running for decades. And ultimately, we help drive that innovation through more agility, more creativity, and ultimately more value for the business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abby. Continuous delivery as a team sport. I really love that sentiment. We will now take a break and resume with our breakout sessions at 11:05 Pacific. I encourage you to go check out the sponsor booths or go take a selfie or meet some new people in our networking area.